Okay, so let's see what's going on. So my computer just randomly crashed. I have no idea what caused it, but if it happens again, I'm just gonna have to cancel the stream for today and hopefully figure out what's going on with that. So I'm just opening my task manager here, so perhaps we can see there what's going on or what's causing these issues. So yeah, also we have another problem with VoxEdit, since it probably didn't close itself correctly. So when we click on the animator, oh, now it's working. Okay, so it just randomly crashed before. So let's go back to our Sandmarai and let's continue where we left when the stream crashed. So basically now we have the same thing as we had before, just that this is now a separate node that we can use. So if we check any other animations, it should look fine still, but when we go to the flea, so this is the problematic one, right? Here we can do some stuff with it, and then we'll also have to go, as you can see here, it doesn't have a final keyframe, so we'll have to go through basically all of these animations on the right and add the final keyframe to the flag node. So basically here what we want to do is just rotate it back a little bit so it doesn't come straight through the head or through the mouth. Maybe it can be a bit like this, or maybe one more, just so it doesn't intersect too much, but it can a little bit. At least I don't think that should be a problem if it intersects a little bit on the back side here. And I think there was something mentioned. Okay, so here we have a bit of a problem because of z-fighting. So let's go ahead and so let's just move this further in for 2.4, and maybe what would happen if we deleted the whole part here? So if we did something like this, perhaps. Let's see. So they're just kind. Why is that offset so much? Let me check. 2.9, 2.6, 2.5. Okay. So if you put this to 2.6, I think that should be pretty well centered. But now this is kind of a problematic part, so let's just not cut out this part and let's just fill it in like so, or maybe even here, just to be sure nothing funky is going on. And then we can color this part like a darker red, and that's basically it, right? Just so. And if we check the extended leg, there should be no more fighting here. But for this part, basically we can just duplicate the right leg. So let's save first, in case, I don't know, the computer crashes again or whatever weird magic thing is going on. So let's find first the left leg. Okay, here it is. Let's get rid of that, and now we can duplicate the right leg here. Left leg. Oh, we're using the wrong keyboard. Like so. And we need to expand this so we can attach our node here. And then we just need to flip it over the x-axis so it's symmetric, and now we shouldn't have any problems on this side either. Oh, except for this, right? What's going on here? So if we zoom in, it doesn't actually look like there. So sometimes when you zoom out, it might appear like there are some rendering issues, but when you zoom in and it renders how it's supposed to be, they are kind of gone. So I think this is fine, right? And okay, so this is flea animation, that's good. So now let's just add the final keyframes to all these animations, so our flag always has a final keyframe. So that's gonna be a little bit of work, but we can get through it pretty quickly. So we can... oh, there's a lot of animations. Okay. And now they basically have like what, 4 taunts. So we have to go through every single one and add the final keyframe for the flag, so it doesn't bug or get broken when we use this asset in the game. So what, we're roughly at half. And it's I guess it's pretty cool that now they color the idle 01, which is basically the default animation, with yellow, so it's kind of easier to find when you have like a gajillion animations. So here's this one. Air attack, let's check this one. Okay, so I guess it kind of looks better when you have all the animations playing one after another, so it doesn't look weird when it loops over itself. So just a couple of attacks, and now you can see here this is actually a problem that has been before. I haven't done anything with the hand or the arm. I'm not sure which node that actually was, but it was missing a final keyframe from before. That wasn't our fault. Flag here, on the other hand, is, so we definitely need to add the final keyframe there. or I mean we're adding it for all the nodes, so if anyone doesn't have it yet, it will have now, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. And just the last 4 or 5, we will soon be done with this tedious part. Let's just hope the stream doesn't crash. Well, the stream isn't the problem, actually the PC is more of a problem because if work isn't saved I have to do it all over again. So basically you can see this is working mostly fine. Let me just check if this is actually it's not intersecting, right? So we aren't really getting that weird thingy here on the helmet, so I kind of think that's fine. Maybe we can, but then we can go through all the animations and try to fix some stuff, but I think that is pretty much fine. So let's just save that, and then let's see what new. I think the promise was that we'll be making the doors, so that's basically how much I have done before. We basically have 2 sides that can be put apart. That's more or less it for now, so let's get going with the side. Here we can delete some stuff. Maybe let's just pick the base gray color, just so that we can use it later. Then if we upscale this back, and then let's center the pivot point to 8 and then 36, like so. And then let's add some child nodes to the base, so this can be side 0. So let's maybe put it on the same side as door 0. That might be helpful actually when we try to figure out which stuff is where. So 72, and then maybe we can leave like a little bit of an indentation on this side, and maybe if we turn on the bounding boxes you can actually see better which part is which. And now I'm just thinking if we should maybe make this side a bit thicker, because once the doors open, yeah, they they kind of stick out on the other side, so I don't think we really want that, so let's try to make this side a bit thicker, I guess. So if we make it 64, yeah, I think that's kind of fine, right? Then let's downscale it so we can center the pivot point more easily. So here it should be at 8, and add the red one at 9, that's fine. Okay. And now if we upscale it, so 96, and then if we move this part all the way in, like so maybe, so yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. So it can kind of slide into the side. And then we aren't... I guess for now we can use the symmetric sides, but later on we'll create a side one, and then those will be probably symmetric. But for now, and since we use the center, we can just use the same one for the left side as we're using for the right, like so. And then the idea was that we make like some kind of lasers, or maybe even like it's not actually barbed wire, but it's like those metal bar doors that kind of close. Well, you'll see what I mean. But first we can maybe so let's try to figure out how we want to make the lasers. So they're gonna be basically moving like up and down, like that stuff you see in movies, where like a burglar has to dodge those thingies. And it seems like they should be basically 2 blocks wide from each side, so they connect in the middle, and when they turn off they can be also hidden inside of the side, if that's how English works. So let's duplicate this. Can name it like laser base, maybe, just something. And then it's gonna be, I think we can make it 6 by 6. So I don't, well, we'll see if that's too thick, but it could work well if since our doors are pretty large, we can afford to use thicker lasers. So right now none of the stuff is over 50%, so hopefully the stream stays stable and computer doesn't crash again. So maybe let's add to the side a child node. Let's name it laser base 0, or maybe it can be even laser 0 base. Doesn't really matter. So let's, oh, it's rotated the wrong way. I guess if we duplicate this node from now on, can work with that, but let's see. So this is basically full width. Okay. So how wide is this? 128, okay. So 2 blocks for each side, we need 64. Okay, so that's for one side, and then we can maybe make it move from 12 upwards. Well, we'll add the movement later, right? And when we hide this, yeah, it starts to stick out on the other side, so we can't have one object, we'll actually have to have 2. So let's go ahead and try to figure out how long this part should be. So maybe 4, 5, 6. Maybe it can be like a square. Let me recount. 1, 2, 3. So here. And of course we could have used the mirror to make our progress faster, like here. But for the other side, let's just get rid of this part, like so. And then we basically need to do the same thing as we did with the samurai's flag, that we duplicate this, we name this laser. Now let's delete this part, because that's not part of the laser. Trim the volume, adjust the pivot point, like so. Let's also put it at 2, so it's centered. And then we can try to maybe use some red and make it glow. So it's an actual laser. And then for the base we can get rid of this part, because we no longer require it. And then trim the volumes again. So we have this part as well. So here's our laser base, and now let's create laser 0. Attach it here. Now this doesn't actually look centered, so let's try to figure out why that is. And it probably has to do something with the pivot point at the base, so it was offset by half a voxel, and now you can see the laser is actually centered. And also, okay, so it's at the middle basically. So if we duplicate this, name it laser 1 base, and then we can just rename this to laser 1. It doesn't really matter, but let's just keep everything organized, and then we can rotate it onto the other side and move it to -160. Now we basically have a full laser. And now I'm just thinking if it would be easier to make like a parent node. So let's create a node that's named full laser 0, and then we can attach laser 0 base and laser 1 base to it. Okay, and then I just rotate the whole thing, or maybe you know what, let's move this. I think it's -64, and then this to 64. Or wait, are they both at -64? So this one is at -64, this one is at, yeah, as well. So now let's rotate this parent node here. So now that's aligned, and then let's move it like a little bit inwards, and then we can move everything with our parent node. So that's why we did that, and then we can also duplicate it. Name it maybe full laser 1. And then move this to 0 and maybe to the top, so they can be moving one from the top and one from the bottom, or however they would like to do that. So we got our lasers, and maybe we can move them a little bit closer to each other as well. Maybe to 4, -4. So let's leave them both at the bottom for now, and let's save. Okay, and now we can try to make like those like wire doors. That's what I'm gonna call them. And yeah, so so we're gonna need like some really long bars and then some shorter ones, but I guess the easiest way is just to try and make that thing, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. So let's create a child node to the side. Let's name it wire door 0, since we are working with side 0, and we could actually add the door to it, but we can also do that later, so that's not really a big deal. So let's say wire, and I know it's not an actual wire, but I guess we just have to start enumerating them with 0, because I don't have an idea how many sizes we'll have. I was thinking about maybe naming them like S, M, L, XL, XL, and then we could go maybe with multiple X's, like extra, extra, extra large or something, but yeah, you just pick some naming system that fits you and just go with it. As long as you understand what's going on, well, that's a start. If you can't understand what's going on, nobody else will, so let me just say that. So maybe we can do it like 120. And I'm just continuously looking at my task manager to hopefully figure out what's causing my computer to shut down unexpectedly. I'm kind of suspecting some issues with either RAM or the CPU, but it's too early to say anything for sure, and even at that point I would just probably have to replace my motherboard and half of the PC, so it's actually a pretty old machine, so there might be time coming for it to get replaced. Well, at least partially replaced. And now I think it would be kind of, well, this can be actually the bottom node, and then let's put it to, sure, like 32, and maybe 6, and then when the doors are closed, it, well, it doesn't really display. So let's see, let's try to make this stuff symmetric. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe let's just try to go with 2, and then we can create a child node, wire door 0 1 because it's a child. So we continue with 0 and then let's add just 1 to it. And now this one will have to pivot from the top, so let's move this to 120. And then actually wait, so our pivot point should be at the bottom, I'm pretty sure. Or we can actually account for that, so we need to move it to 117, I think. And then we move it here, so this is 0. Now this is straight up, and then 1, 2 more here, and then maybe so this should be moved down even further, right? Otherwise it kind of looks weird. So let's move it down additional 3 voxels, that's to 114. And let's see, this is the straight up, and this is the same angle here. And now we can try to do something tricky. Let's duplicate this node, wire door 0 1 1, I guess. And then if we attach it here, okay, not the exact result I was hoping for, but it makes stuff easier. So 1 2, and now you can see this is gonna intersect with the other side a little bit, so we'll have to make this part shorter. And then another thing I was thinking of is like making a bar that's like perpendicular to the floor, so they basically like come together, and then once the doors open they move like apart. So where would we have to put that? That's actually a pretty good question. We can figure that out later. Actually, let's duplicate this node first, and then name it wire door 0 2. So what we want to do here is basically just mirror, or well, mirror. You just move this upwards and basically rotate it. We can rotate it here as well already. So it's basically the same thing, but from the other side. So let's move this upwards. How far do we want to go with that? Then if we extend this out, you can see what I was trying to explain basically. So we have something like this, and another thing that we could do is basically just move the so I think another good thing would be just to create a child node and name it door 0, which is already used by the inner doors. So okay. Now we need to get creative. So let's rename this to YD, which are basically wire doors, but since we need the unique names, we can now name this one wire door 0, which were put... Wait. Now I'm a little confused. Well, what the heck are these? Did we duplicate it by... Well, we duplicated the whole thing, so let's delete that. And now let's create child node, name it wire door 0. Okay. Then basically we can attach this to it and then this to it as well. Wait a sec. What's going on? Well, wait. Where's our wire door? So we have a side. Oh my god. What is going on? So let's create a child node. Let's name it wire door 0. Okay. So this is basically the same as side 0. And now if we attach this to it, that works fine. And now if we attach this to it, okay, still fine. We probably attached our stuff to some incorrect nodes. So now we can use this wire door to move everything just a little bit inwards. And now we can create another child node, which is gonna be WD0M, which basically stands for wire door 0 middle, which is gonna be just this long part here. That's gonna be like connecting in the middle with the other side. So let's move it outwards. And let's just check with this one. So it's at 25. Oh, come on. Let's move this one to 25 as well. 25. Okay. And my nose is itching because it's spring. Okay, let's move it upwards a little bit, maybe to 6. That kind of looks about right. And maybe for the middle part we can actually make it a bit thicker as well. Especially since we don't actually need any other bars, I have just realized. Well, we could have gone with like more details, but sometimes details can be a pain in the butt, so there's that. And then also what we can do is just make one of these move like to 24.8 or something, just in case. Well, let's just go over all of them, just so we don't have like some weird bugs like we had before with the sand morai. So let's move this inwards like by 0.2 and then this as well. Come on, asshole. Okay. So here we can maybe move outwards by 0.2 and then this as well. Like so. So we hopefully don't have if we make some more details for these wire zeros, just so we don't run into some weird unexpected bugs or anti-aliasing. Well, it's not really anti-aliasing, it's like layer meshing. I'm not really an expert at naming different unfortunate things that can occur in Vox Edit, so yeah, let's leave that to some other people. They can figure out what stuff should be called, and then maybe we can make this just 5 by 5, so it's not really much thicker than the rest, but just a little bit. So let's fill this in, and then let's attach the new wire, like so. And that actually looks quite centered already. So we can maybe go ahead and then just delete the side one. Let's see. Do we want to delete side one? I'm not too sure. Let's see, wire door, maybe we can just duplicate the wire door. So let's duplicate node, name it wire door 1. Let's close this node, let's close this one as well. Then we attach this to the other side. And then if we rotate, let's not rotate the whole side, let's just rotate the door. 180. So, wait, what? Interesting. Well, actually we could do that even later. And oh my god. Let's just reset. And actually, before we do this stuff, let's just get rid of that, because we need our middle part to extend basically to this vertical green line. So we actually need to move our wire door further out to here. Maybe a little bit less. So okay. And another thing I think we should do is, instead of moving this by 25, so let's move this back to 0. 0, and move this back to 0 as well. Or maybe like minus a little bit. Then move this to 0. Okay. And then we can just move the whole wire door forwards to 25. And that should hopefully help when we try to mirror this. So I guess we can mirror it just so you can kind of see what it's gonna look like, but we'll probably have to duplicate it again after animating. Well, we'll see. So let's go ahead and duplicate this node and name it wire door 1, and then attach that to side 1. And now, hopefully, if everything works fine, we can just rotate this here. And we basically have our door. The only thing we can maybe do is move them outwards a little bit, maybe -1, and then if we move this one to 1 or -1 as well, we have like a little gap here. So maybe to 0.8. Now we're just playing around a bit what makes them appear as best as possible. So 0.8, oh, here is 0.7. Oh my god. So let's move this one a little bit inwards, and I think that's pretty good. So that's for the doors, and then we basically need like something at the top, and we don't want to make that too large either, just so we don't have like too many legs when we try to texture the details or draw the details, draw the textures. Yeah. Something like that, of course. One thing just for, I don't know, just to experiment, maybe would be to just put the side on the top, so I can create child node, let's name it top, and we'll add more child nodes to it later on. Rotate that, then it can be aligned, let me see, here. Then we can move this further upwards, so this is basically half of it, and it's like pretty thick, so we'll definitely reduce that. So let's duplicate our side 0, let's name it top 0 maybe. Perhaps we'll have multiple tops, so let's go ahead and okay. So first of all, we need to make it 72 here, and we can make it like a lot shorter, maybe 2 blocks for starters, like so. Let's turn off nice lines for the edges, so we can kind of see better what we're doing. And then we can downscale, adjust the pivot point to not 0.9 to just 9.0. And then let's upscale this. And now we need to move it further inwards, like so. Okay. Okay, this might be a bit too much, so let's maybe I'll reduce that to 32. Okay. And then let's duplicate this. Name it top 1. Actually, we shouldn't have duplicated it. Maybe just create a child node. Top 1. Then let's attach the same thingy to it. And hopefully if we just rotate it to the other side, it should fit nicely. Okay. So this is our current layout for the door. And maybe just since it's the idle animation, how does that? I'll actually have to go and check how the door template works, just so we name them this appropriately, or maybe we can check it out on the marketplace. If there are some. Let me just extend this. Now we need behavior door, and maybe this one, since this is actually one of mine and it's made from the template. We can check out idle, so these are closed, and opening, they open. Okay, so idle is closed basically. So maybe let's move a full laser one to the top, or like higher up, maybe somewhere, maybe 72 is fine, I don't know. And then this one also upwards, maybe to 16, like so. Just so we have our idle positions. And so for the most part this should be fine. And now let's get on and make some details, and here it's actually gonna be really helpful that we can turn off the ghost. And now let's just reduce the volume for as long as we can, just so we don't have to be bothered with too much unneeded stuff. So maybe here, and let's get rid of this. And as you can see, we are using the Y mirror just to make the whole process faster, because the door are actually symmetric over the Y-axis. So let's see, if we wanted to continue this pattern here, we can do it like so. And then let's just upscale it, and then do the same thing for the other side, and so we don't forget what we have done on the one side. Oh, hi Ali or Abar. Doing quite fine. We had a little hiccup at the start of the stream because my computer unexpectedly shut down. I don't know why that is happening. It's like third time in a little bit under a week, so I'm hoping I can figure out what's causing it, and apart from that we'll probably just have to get some new parts eventually, so that doesn't keep happening. And today we are making one of the last superhero themed assets that I have assigned. So we're making like these superhero styled doors with some lasers and stuff, and now I'm just trying to make them symmetric from both sides, since they are a bit different. You can just mirror them. Yeah, I'm just praying it doesn't happen again, because I think once per stream is enough. And I'll just start looking at some replacement components, since my current PC is like 5 years old already? Oh my god. I got a new graphics card, so I'm kind of praying that's not the issue, because they're really expensive right now, but the rest of the stuff, well, I would probably have to replace like motherboard, CPU, and then RAM probably. I would have to find out if I'm probably using DDR4 currently. Yeah, it's time to upgrade, exactly. I have been thinking about it for like for some time actually, and I never really got to it, but now apparently the PC is telling me it's time, yeah. mm, so, okay, so here are the doors, and now I kind of regret I already made the these thingies, the wire doors, because now I can't see. Oh my god, misclick. Because now I can't see w- what's actually going inside, what's going on inside. So let's rotate them outwards, just so we get a better view. And let's go to side 0. Rotate that. Okay, so now we can kind of see what's going on inside. And I think we have smaller margins on the right, or on the door 1, than we have on the no, these are the door 0, and yeah, we're on the door 1 right now. So I think what we need to do is this. And now let's just get rid of some stuff. Now let's upscale it back, and you can see it's already helpful that we have rotated these front doors outwards, so we can actually see if our stuff is kind of symmetric or not. And then maybe for this part we can just make it go upwards if we have the right color selected, and maybe like so. Now we need to upscale. Okay, so that looks, and oh yeah, I was kind of baffled why there is the base here and not here, but I just can't see it because of the shadows. And now let's downscale it just once, and then we can make like this nice, well, these lines a little nicer, like so. Then here, here, just to make everything a bit smoother. Also here, here, and here. So let's try to find as many as possible. So I think that's it for this side. And then let's upscale it again, just so we have the correct dimensions. And let's move on to the other side, downscale. Do this here. Okay, here as well. Now let's see what's going on here. 4, 1, 2, 3. So what would happen if we did something like this, just so we have like a line that's kind of the same width all over. And would this help in any case? I think this does help a little bit. And then let's do this here as well. So that's it for here, and then let's try to apply this technique onto the other side as well. So we can see here this, and then this. So we have it here, here, here. Cool. And then should we do something like this maybe? Am I a full-time voxel artist? Yes and no. I am finishing my my masters. It's bachelor's, masters, and PhD, right? So the second one. So I'm studying as well, but apart from that, it's like a part-time job, I guess, for now. And we'll see how that turns out by the time I actually get my degree, if I can stay with the Sandbox, or I should perhaps explore some other opportunities. But that's it's still over a year until then, so a lot of stuff can change by that time. Let's keep that so. And we did like a little bit of roundiness on the sides, so we can do the same thing on the other side. And here let's, so here it's 4 thick, here is 3. I guess we can still do some stuff on the inside, but let's just extend this outwards, just so we have, wait, now it's 4 thick? Wait a sec. So this is 4, this is 3. And also, what's going on here? 2, 3. So this should go... Wait. Now I got a bit bamboozled. So start from here. So this isn't... Thank you. So we messed up something, because this is no longer symmetric. So let me just draw some guidelines, like so. So we should probably get rid of that. Now on the inner side, now it's 2, now it's 3. Okay. And then on the outside, let's just get rid of that. And this is symmetric, right? Okay. 5. Now it's kind of weird. So let's extend this outwards, and then On this side, make it so it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, so it's the same thickness all around, and here it can be 3 because diagonal shapes just appear a bit thinner than the rest. And then here is 3, here is 3, and then this part is 4, so maybe we can do one more here. So now this should be symmetric. Now we can get rid of our guidelines. Okay, so that's for this part. And then at the top maybe we can just leave like 2, and then here as well. Cool. So that's for this side. And now let's try to make something similar on the other. Let's turn this on. So how did we do it there? So we basically had 4 and 3. Let me just check it again. Let's upscale this. And then, oops. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on the inside, on the inner side, we need to have 4, and on the outer side we need to have 3. So 3, 4, 3, 4, and 3 again. So that's mostly fine. And then here, if we downscale this, we have 3 on the upside, or on the straight side, and then 4 on the diagonals. So let's try to put that here as well. So we have 3 on the straight side, but only 3 on diagonals as well. So this 2, 3, 4. Then here as well. So that's the correct thickness. At least I think so. And then let's see how we did the... So it's basically just 4. We didn't do... Oh, we did here a little bit, so let's get rid of this, just so we have the same... so this is 1 voxel shorter than the outside edge. So we have that all around. So let's do this here. So here this is already. Also here, also here. And then I think we need to put this also. So this is done, and then let's see, this is 3 voxels thick, so whoops, we'll have to do just some adjustments here. So we have 3, 3, and now here as well. Okay. And then let's just check how thick these straight parts are on the other side. So I think they are 2, apart from this here, which actually doesn't have to be 3 thick. So 2, 2, and 2 here. So we can make this a little bit thinner, and this is fine as it is. Okay, and now let's just add some roundiness to this, like so. And that's I'm just thinking if we can add some more details at this stage, or if we should wait until later. But I guess we could do we could at least mirror them onto the other side. So let's do that. So now our sides are symmetric from both sides, and then we can just kind of fill this in, and then just this whole side can be this darker gray. Okay, let's upscale so we can see it in all of its glory, and then let's do the same thing here. We already have our mirror set up, and we need to use the appropriate tool to do that. And then oops, here, and then just these faces need to be converted to darker gray, and then this top part can also be filled in. And maybe we can just make like a little strip on top and the bottom, and then we can upscale, and that's it for that. And then maybe oops, let's do the same thing here, just so we have some stuff at top and the bottom. So that's our current result, and here you can see from the other side the doors look kind of the same when wait, why are there some intersections like this? That's kind of not supposed to happen, but wait a second. So are these these are kind of, are they intersecting too much? Let me just move this outwards as well. So maybe we can part paint one side in purple, just so we can kind of get the idea of what's going on with the alignments. So if we move this inwards, so how does that look from the other side? So when we slide them together, you can see the top and the bottom one right, but none of the rest. So that's interesting and a little bit unfortunate why that happened. So now let's get to some troubleshooting. Okay. So let me just turn on the rest of the stuff. And now if we go, so if we delete 4x4, let's see if that helps. Okay, and we basically have to do that for the rest of the stuff as well, right? I'm just worrying we are gonna make Why did we have to split the door already? It would be kind of easier if we kept it one object, but that would be like a really large one, so it's kind of difficult to have your cake and eat it too, so we have to compromise somewhere, I guess. So if we do this and this as well, let's check it out. So this is still looking fine. Maybe we can also color these parts with purple, just so we know, or we can try to determine whether we can see them or not. So from that side it's fine, and from this side it's also fine right now. Okay. So we basically need to do the same thing here. Let's get rid of this, rid of that, and then here 4x4, like so. Now let's try this out. Okay, so from this side all of them can be seen. Then here, let's see, we can see some, but not all of them. So perhaps we have to do some adjustments here as well. So let's see, do we have a gap? No. No, we actually see the purple. So that's kind of better, right? Okay, so now we can see this whole thing. And then we need to probably delete some stuff here as well. So there's 4, then here's 4, then let's see, probably like this. Okay. And if we delete this, there should be a gap. Okay. So now we actually finally have like the correct cutout. I don't know what happened in between that messed stuff up, but so there's that, and then we can just fill this in and it will fill the top as well. So hopefully now this is aligned, and then let's color this side appropriately as well, so we have the dark grays in the middle. Okay. And then let's just move these doors to maybe just like one next to the other, and then we can just move them to 0. I think, is that too much forward? It is, so maybe we can put it at -24. I think they were at something like that before, so there's that. And now if we just, yeah, now these doors actually look like they could fit together. The only thing is that one side is like much darker than the other one, but I don't really think that's too big of a problem. So let's see how much they can be moved inwards. So that's 64, okay, and then 64 on this side as well. So they are closed. And now let's try to add a couple of details, maybe. So one thing we could try to do is like well, we can make this stuff look more nice later on when we are at full resolution. So let's 4, 6, 2, 4. Well, we need to we're trying to keep the same spacing in between, maybe like so. It can be just a line here. Maybe something like this. And 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Yeah, just some stuff. Then let's try to mirror that onto the second door. Let's upscale. And then here it would be kind of useful to know how far apart these two thingies are, so let's just figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3 to each side, and then let's move. Wait, what? Okay, so let's just fill the colors in again. Okay, and then let's use the brighter shade. So this is the middle, so that's too close here. 2, 4, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here. Then the last one should be at the top, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6. Okay. Now we can do this. Something like this. And then let's upscale it back. Like so. Then let's... okay, we did something similar here. So we can upscale that back as well. Okay. And now we're basically at the highest resolution for our door. So maybe we can add some highlights here. And then maybe we can try to be a little cheeky and then do the highlight on this side. And maybe we shouldn't be mirroring that. Okay, so let's get rid of the mirror. So we can do some stuff. 3, 4. Okay. And is this the darkest one? Nope. We can still go one shade darker, which is good. Because we'll use that here. Maybe just... we are making the bright side a bit longer than the dark side. Or at least on that. Maybe here we can just put 3 maybe in. Something like this. Just to give some illusion of depth. Then maybe to here. And then now this needs to be dark. And it also messed this side when we were downscaling before, so let's quickly fix that as well. Here and here. So that's more or less it for the inner side. We aren't really looking to make like a lot of details and stuff, and maybe the inner side doesn't need to have this overhang. Here, and then maybe let's just put this all the way around. And here we can do something like this. Then go all the way down. And here it actually wouldn't hurt if we had the mirroring on, so let's just apply these details to the bottom, and as you can see we have missed a little bit there. So no overhang here. Then just pull this all the way down. Oh, now we need to get rid of the mirroring, of course. We don't need it anymore. And maybe we can go with something like this, so we are still getting some light on this part, but not much more. And we can do something kind of similar for these thingies. And now we can use the mirroring again. So maybe let's try to make the inner side like so. And then we're just doing like some outlines on the inside. Let's do this here. And now 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll actually see what we wanna do with these bright details later on, but for this part I think it fits pretty well. Oh my god! With some just darker outlines, so it makes it appear like it's indented or something. So the last thing is to get rid of this, since we aren't using the hard edgy corners